Just like our travels, PBS has given us a broader view of the world.
And that is why Larry and I have agreed to include our PBS station in my will.
It's important to keep PBS alive, and this is one way that we can do our share.
We thoroughly enjoy traveling together. We have traveled to 6 of the 7 continents. Antarctica, probably never.
Traveling the world has really made me a better person.
We have traveled not only for adventure, but many of our trips have been to see some of our sponsored children.
Just like our travels, PBS has given us a broader view of the world.
And that is why Larry and I have agreed to include our PBS station in my will.
Consider including the ETV endowment in your plans. For more information, call 877-253-2092.
We feel that it's important to keep PBS alive and functioning, and this is one way that we can do our share.
Thanks to viewers like you, we've been able to tell America's stories on this PBS station. Help us continue to tell these stories now and for future generations by including this station in your charitable plans.
I want young adults to know that the world is a much bigger place than just the spot that they are occupying at this time. And PBS presents that in a very positive manner. I have left my PBS station a gift in my will. I want to be certain the programs presented by PBS are carried forward to future generations. I'm in a book club, and we have lots of fun. It keeps me connected to other people. I want to know what is going on in the community and what's going on in the world. And PBS presents that in a very positive manner. Charlie Rose is my favorite. I cannot go to bed until I've watched Charlie Rose. I want young adults to know that the world is a much bigger place than just the spot that they are occupying at this time. PBS brings a world that's bigger than the street that I live on. I have left my PBS station a gift in my will. I want to be certain the programs presented by PBS are carried forward to future generations.
Spending time with my boys is precious. I love being a dad. It's what I cherish above all other things, especially now. I was deployed to Iraq and served there for just over 12 months. I am certainly proud, but more grateful for that opportunity. When I was in Iraq, I was amazed that I could access PBS online. The coverage that the NewsHour provided gave an accurate portrayal of the events as I understood them unfolding. I thought it was an outstanding resource. It was a great way for me to stay connected to my country, but also where it really mattered, which was home. Having that tangible connection was really meaningful for me. PBS is something that I trust. What they reflect to me is what's best about my country.
We came from Puerto Rico. We moved here to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania when I was 4 years old. I come from a very hardworking blue-collar family. My dad was diagnosed with leukemia. I couldn't continue my education and had to focus more on holding a full-time job so I could help pay the bills and support my family. I'm a very curious person. One night I was watching an episode of Nova about genetics and evolution. fireworks went off in my head, thinking, oh yeah, that's something I could do. Why can't I go out and change the world? I decided to go back to school so I could study evolutionary genetics. It looks like I'm gonna be able to pay the bills while going into something where I could achieve my dreams. PBS presented me with an idea that had never occurred to me before. I've never felt such a purpose, and now all I do is dream big.
Growing up in the 80s, we used to play hide and go seek, hopscotch. All of a sudden, those streets I used to play in were flooded with violence and drugs. I looked out my window where my neighbor had been shot, and I really didn't see myself making it to 21. I retreated to my living room to find safety. PBS became a window into a broader world. If I ran home, I got to watch Bob Ross. It would just soothe me. Art is an extremely important part of my life today. I'm one of the founding members of Artists for Humanity. I do my best to keep kids out of gangs, to make sure that there is a clear path towards success. I found that path through PBS. Growing up, sometimes I felt despair, but when you can turn on the television and see a beautiful world, it gives you hope that you can make it to that world.
My father was drafted into Vietnam at the height of the conflict. He became a single parent of 2 young children. We moved a lot. We slept in rest areas. We slept in our car. I didn't realize that we were actually homeless. It makes your world really small. If we happened to stay in a motel that happened to have a TV, it was really special. We loved Nova, especially when it would be about space. We would talk for hours about the universe. Watching Nova, I felt big, like my mind was big, my ideas were big. The trajectory of my life changed. I could see a world outside of our poverty, and I felt like things were gonna get better. PBS opened up a world I didn't know existed.
I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value. PBS has always played a big part in my being a good citizen. When the Watergate hearings began, PBS was thoughtful enough to re-air them at night. So it was a great service to all of us who were busy with children during the day. Frontline, the News Hour. I really love Washington Week. I trust the news programs on PBS. I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station.
Consider including CET in your plans. For more information, call 513-345-6516.
My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.
I grew up in a small American farming town, didn't have a lot. I lived with 7 siblings in a single wide trailer. I just felt like, why couldn't life be better for me? I remember to this day, I turned on the TV and saw Les Mis on great performances. The music was so powerful. I believed that I can do that. It truly inspired me. Today I have a full-time career, but I also have a dream, to sing in a prestigious opera company. It takes work, time, dedication. Sharing my love for music with people gives me joy. PBS helped me think anything's possible. Now I really know what I want in life, and that's singing. PBS gave me the confidence to take a chance on myself.
I used to hate writing because I have Tourette syndrome. It's a neurological disorder that causes me to twitch and makes my hands cramp up. It's annoying. I watched Downton Abbey with my whole family, and I love the series. It just created such a cool universe. I didn't know that writing could do that. I was so obsessed that I went and I researched and I learned all that I could about the Edwardian era. Despite the uncomfortableness of having Tourette's, I started to write. I wrote a fan fiction about Downton. After that, I wrote a short story for school that was set in Edwardian England. I got an A. I write all the time now. I love thinking of different plots and characters. It's just really satisfying. Downton Abbey just sparked something inside me, and now writing is my absolute favorite thing. I don't think of Tourette syndrome as much of an obstacle now. I feel like I'm more open to trying new things.
My granddaughter is named June Elizabeth, but I call her Junebug. My hope is to teach her about kindness and about the love of animals and nature. I want Junebug to have the same opportunities I had by watching PBS. My husband and I feel so strongly about our PBS station that we've included them in our estate plan.
Make your values last. Call today to fund the next great journey.
PBS is part of our values, and we want to pass it on to the next generation. My parents met because they both worked on the railroad. There was actually no question I was going to go to work on the railroad. I knew that from the very beginning when I was a little kid. My dad taught me to be kind and think about other people. And that is what I'm trying to instill in my family. My granddaughter is named June Elizabeth, but I call her Junebug. My hope is to teach her about kindness and about the love of animals and nature. I want Junebug to have the same opportunities I had by watching PBS. It has helped me understand so many things in our world. My husband and I feel so strongly about our PBS station that we've included them in our estate plan. PBS is part of our values, things that we cherish, and we want to pass it on to the next generation.
I really do enjoy volunteering. I like to think that I have made a difference. That's enough. I don't need to be patted on the back. I've included my PBS station in my future plans. It's not a big gift, but something that will help them.
For more information, contact Tamara Hindle at 603-868-4307 or go online today.
Every little bit helps. If we can do a whole lot of little bits, then we've done a great service. I volunteer for a number of organizations that include a museum, which is in my community, and driver safety classes aimed at senior citizens. I really do enjoy volunteering. I like to think that I have made a difference, and I think that's enough. I don't need to be patted on the back. Some of the values that I have now came to me from PBS. I really enjoy the documentaries from Ken Burns. We don't change the television station when those things are on. I've included my PBS station in my future plans. It's not a big gift, but something that will help them.
Consider including CET in your plans. For more information, call 513-345-6516.
You do not have to be rich to give a planned gift. Every little bit helps. If we can do a whole lot of little bits, then we've done a great service.
This is Simon. He's 2 years old, and he's a very energetic little boy. During Simon's 18-month well baby check, his pediatrician expressed concern about his language development. We found an educational program at Vegas PBS through ISS Baby Steps. Since participating in these workshops and working with his speech therapist, Simon's vocabulary has increased and his willingness to imitate sounds, which is a huge part of overcoming this developmental delay. Before this workshop, I knew Vegas PBS mostly through TV. It definitely has taken a much bigger role in our lives since the workshops. To us, Vegas PBS means safe entertainment, a fun way to learn, and a great place to spend time with family.
My name is Griffin Black, and I am a U.S. Army veteran. My dad always taught me that you needed to work hard if you wanted to achieve anything in life, and I wanted to make sure that I never let my dad down. That's part of the reason why I enlisted. I served 14 months in Iraq, and I came home in 2004. I wanted to kind of put my past behind me and move into bigger and better things here in Las Vegas. I realized when I moved here to Las Vegas that most employers in the construction field that you had to have an OSHA 10 card here to get employment. Vegas PBS is one of the places that I went to find out about OSHA 10. Vegas PBS helped me get my OSHA 10 card. Now I own 3 businesses here in Las Vegas. To me, Vegas PBS means a fresh start in Las Vegas.
I came to the United States when I was 24 years old. I did not speak any English. I felt very, very lost, really not knowing what to do with my life. One day on TV, there was Sesame Street. Ernie and Grover and Cookie Monster, and it's not only that I learned to speak in English, now I know how to live in the United States, so this is how you do it. Now I'm powerful. Now I know I can do anything I want. I will make myself learn how to do it. And I got that from PBS. I bought my first set of paints and brushes, and I practiced. My path is children's books, and I have found who I wanted to be, which is that person who has something to say. PBS and Sesame Street, they open up the world to me.
When 9/11 happened, I started getting all these anonymous phone calls. Why don't you go back to where you came from? And my first thought was, you want me to go back to Princeton, New Jersey? And watching the media and the news, the Muslims and Arabs are always the bad guy. And that's when I said, we really got to change the portrayals of who Muslims are on television in this country. So I came up with the idea to produce my own documentary. I sent a proposal to PBS, and they said, this is a story that needs to be told, and we're willing to help you tell it. So I found my subjects, 2 fantastic Americans, and I filmed them for a month. My local PBS station aired it, and then I saw the positive reaction and the difference that it made. The Muslim American community loved it. It gave them a newfound hope that they can finally be portrayed accurately on television in this country. The only place that would provide me with the opportunity to tell that story of who Muslim Americans really are was PBS.
When I'm outside and in a beautiful place, I feel like a better, more whole person. I saw the National Park series from Ken Burns on PBS. The series was so passionate and so enthusiastic that it makes you want to experience it. So I decided to go from Florida to Alaska and visit national parks along the way, and I'd only do it by bike. Rocky Mountain National Park, Tetons, Yellowstone, Glacier, Denali. I wouldn't have started an adventure like this if it wasn't for PBS. Listening to the historians and the rangers talk about how the parks were formed and what they mean to America, all of those things make you want to explore them. You want to be down by the river. You want to dip your toe in it. You want to experience it. I really feel like in order to achieve something that it just takes effort, that if you keep at it, you're very likely to succeed. PBS inspired me to live more fully and take the adventure of a lifetime.